Yeah.
Listen,
Go ahead.
if you don't behave on this podcast today, then I'm gonna bend you over and fuck your ass and make you humble.
I don't think I get this reference.
R.I.P. Sheiky baby.
Oh, God.
I started watching. I don't know how, but I guess. Well, I know how he died. But the other day, I think it was Friday, I went down this rabbit hole of like watching all of these like interviews where like he would call into the Howard Stern show, or
Yeah.
he was on the Howard Stern show, and he'd be talking about like I f you in the ass, I make you humble, and then Howard Stern would be trying to explain to him like, wait, if you're gonna
Yeah,
him in
it's
the
gay.
ass, like that's gay, and you don't like gay things. And he's like, no, you misunderstand. Like, he doesn't mean literally. He means, like, I'm going to beat him up.
Yeah.
And, yeah. So there was, like, the one where there's the one where he talks about, like, Hulk Hogan. There was one where Kurt Angle's there, and he calls in while Kurt Angle's there. And he's like, you're not a fucking, like, true Olympian or whatever. And Angle says it's because he's mad that he beat an Iranian in the finals for the gold medal and stuff. But yeah, it was I went down a rabbit hole for probably about half an hour. Talks about his 10-inch cock.
As rude as it sounds, I'm even more distraught the fact that we can't really see any old memories of him doing stupid stuff or saying bad things, because as you've texted me, Young Rock has been canceled.
Young Rock has been canceled.
I'm more upset with that than I am with
that
Sheik.
was
I know that's
that was
kinda
going to be
messed
my
up.
outro. That was going to be I was going to say like originally I was like, oh, I'll say something about like Young Rock being canceled, and I'll be like, oh, a moment of silence for Young Rock, and then Sheik died, and I was like, well, I should open with that instead.
Son of a bitch.
But we could take a moment
Fucking
for
bullshit.
for Iron Sheik and Young Rock. He'll never be young again.
God damn it. God damn you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a podcast all about wrestling. In this corner, an author and a black belt, Kibbles.
Kibbles? What kind of name is that?
Pookie the Wolf is the best.
I forgot my copies. And in this corner, Pookie the Wolf.
Pookie the Wolf is one of the best.
Welcome to the Kibbles and Pookie's Squared Circle.
I also saw,
What'd you say?
I watched the documentary on
I thought
Randy Poffo.
who?
Randy Poffo.
Who?
Randy Poffo.
Never heard of him.
I think it's Randy Poffo. I don't know how to say this.
Is he a wrestler?
He is.
I assume he's a wrestler. Is it Dark Side of the Ring?
He is, yeah.
Oh, is that the newest Dark Side of the Ring?
No. It's just
Okay.
a biography. You can watch it on YouTube. It's Macho Man. Macho Man's real name.
Oh.
Yeah, and I didn't know that. Well, I knew that, but I didn't remember it. And I remembered it this time.
I'll be honest. This is the first time I'm ever hearing his real
dude,
name.
I tell you what. Because his brother, Larry Poffo, that's the only reason I know, like, he was the one who gave Jay Lethal his blessing on, like...
to use do the Macho
all the
Man
different
stuff.
The Black Machismo.
Oh, yeah. Did you see the weird direction they're going with that on
Dark Side of the Ring?
on Dynamite?
No.
So they were I guess it was on Rampage this week. I saw that they had said like they were going to do a match with Aubrey Edwards against Karen Jarrett. And then they said that's disrespectful to the wrestlers or whatever because they're not wrestlers. Like there was this weird like for storyline reasons this weird thing where they were like, well, that's disrespectful, so we should have wrestlers like with us or something. So now all of a sudden somehow it turned into Karen Jarrett, Jeff Jarrett, and Jay Lethal against Aubrey Edwards, Mark Briscoe, and Papa Briscoe. Which makes no sense whatsoever.
What? Why Papa Briscoe?
I don't know.
That makes no sense whatsoever.
That's what I said.
That seems like
It making no sense.
it making no sense.
There is some there. this is like a total left turn, but I do want to get your opinion on something.
Well, I wanted to bring it. We'll bring
But
up
no,
the,
you go,
the,
you go.
The
you go.
Macho Man thing. No, that's fine. Because I wanted to just bring it. It's very sad for one. Because for one, something
The
interesting.
documentary.
Yeah, it's very sad. I mean, it's also nice. Like it has a nice wrap up, but like a lot of the things he dealt with is just sad. Like because it was his own doing. Like
Yeah.
Elizabeth and even like Gorgeous George, he like was so protected, like almost too overbearing on both of them.
Yeah.
To the point where it's just like he was so wrapped up in thinking that he was going to lose them, and he loses them because of the fact that he tries so hard not to.
Yeah.
And then
It's like a classic tale. It's like a thing that you see in the movies, and sometimes like I don't know. I feel like as I get older, I've noticed things where like I'll look and I'll be like, yeah, that happens in movies and TV, but like that doesn't like I don't know. Like sometimes you feel like it doesn't happen a lot in real life,
Mhm.
and then you see a prime example of it happening, and you're like, nope, that's like exactly like movies are really like you know what I mean? Like they are a portrayal of real life.
Life imitates art.
Yes, that's it.
It was also sad because it's like as much as and they've said before, just like with Kevin Nash saying that he wasn't at fault for the whole Goldberg streak thing. I'm not gonna believe him. I think it's his fault. It's just like I'm not gonna believe if you tell me Lex Luthor isn't the reason why Miss Elizabeth died. I'm not gonna believe you. It's all your goddamn fault. Whatever you did, it's all your goddamn fault.
Yeah, the Kevin. I mean, I don't know.
By the way, Lex Luthor looks awful now.
Does he?
Terrible.
I haven't seen him recently.
He looks like him in like it's weird to explain. He's like a skinny, wrinkly old man with Lex Luthor's head.
He's like something trapped in an enigma.
A what?
Isn't there like a saying where he's like, I'm a something trapped in an enigma.
I don't know.
I'm a confusing thing trapped in an enigma.
Anyway, yeah, it's just very sad, but it ends really nice where it's, they wrap up that he did marry his high school sweetheart, and then he didn't have any problems, and then he passed away. Maybe not in the best way.
Car accident.
Yeah, the best thing was that, I mean, not the best thing, but one of the guys they talked to was like a comedian who does a really good impression of him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I know it sounds disrespectful, but if anyone would go out that way, it would be Macho Man to go out having a heart attack and then hitting a tree. He's like, as messed up as it sounds, it's still very Macho Man way to go. And I was like,
Yeah.
I get it. It's very insensitive, but it's also something that he would go out in glorious fashion because he always wanted to. Because he was like Hulk Hogan even said, he's like, he used to call me like 2 a.m. and be like, what are we gonna do for this spot? And he's like, it's 2 a.m., dude. We can talk about this another time. He's like, well, I have an idea, and like telling him, he's just like, all right, well, tell me tomorrow. Like it was just like the whole thing where like he was always thinking about the job.
Yeah.
Always trying to figure out what to do. Supposedly him and what's his face? Ricky
Mhm.
Steamboat, had their WrestleMania match like completely entirely played out
Yeah, I've heard that.
on like notepad.
Yeah. Yeah, move for move was written out. I remember, I forget where. It may have even been on like one of the podcasts, like Talk Is Jericho or something, when he had
Ricky on?
Steamboat on. But yeah, I remember hearing that somewhere.
The best part is, and it's what I call the Rick James moment with Chappelle, where they'll say one thing and then they'll cut to the other guy and go, yeah, that's exactly what we did, because Hulk Hogan goes, I don't think that Ricky and Macho Man wanted to upstage me and Andre, and then they cut to Ricky. He goes, Macho Man wanted to upstage. He's like, he exactly wanted, like it's just like that. Literally right after they cut to Hogan, they cut to Ricky. He goes, that's exactly what he wanted to do.
Yeah. To segue this into current affairs and topics.
Go for it.
So they announced 2 matches for Forbidden Door. Ospreay and Omega 2.
Ospreay Omega.
And Okada Danielson.
Okada and Danielson.
And so Sabrina does not have any knowledge of anything has barely any knowledge of anything outside of AEW. And even AEW, half of the stuff she falls asleep for and doesn't remember. She knows her favorites, and she'll be like, "Oh, I remember seeing that guy sometime." So we were watching on Wednesday. She's like, "Oh, I don't know who those people are," and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be crazy." And she's like, "I don't know who these people are," and I was like, "These are like 4 of the best wrestlers on the planet right now, and they are going to have 2 one-on-one matches where they're going to tear it up." And I said,
Sunday.
And so this is what made me think of it, was you said like Macho Man absolutely wanted to upstage Hogan. I distinctly remember on Wednesday saying to Sabrina, I was like, here's a good way to explain it. These 4 guys are so professional and want to be the best wrestler on the planet that whatever match goes first is going to absolutely be a situation of they're going to fucking tear the house down. And when they go in the back, they're not going to say it, but it's going to be a very like follow that situation. Like it's going to be like follow that.
It's so that's the thing too, and I think the culture has changed because when you say that, and granted, Sabrina won't know that, but I think the culture has changed where I think it's so different now because, especially with AEW and WWE, they do a lot of like group. Granted, they're not treated like a family, but they are a family essentially.
Yeah,
I don't think that culture of because of the territories, how the territories worked. Back then, they'd be like, "Oh, I'm gonna do a great match with this person and fuck everybody else."
yeah.
But like now, it's like when they come back to Gorilla, they're gonna be like, "Oh my god, that was crazy! You guys did a great job." I don't think.
Oh, I'm not saying there's going to be any bad
But
feelings.
yeah,
or
but
anything
explaining
about it.
to Sabrina,
Correct.
yes. But I think it wouldn't actually be that way because I think they all will be like, they're not set on impressing all the other wrestlers. They're set on impressing just the people who are there.
Yeah. I think it's going to be not a negative, like, follow that because you can't because you suck. It's going to be like a follow that because I'm, like, super proud of the body of work that I just put on.
Yes.
And that's why I said, like, it's not going to be said. It's going to be a very unsaid thing, but it's going to be like, follow that. Like, be better than that. You guys got the main event spot or whatever.
It's unsaid, but even the takeaway, people are going to take, they're going to take away at least the one match, but they're going to be like, oh my God, Forbidden Door was amazing.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting.
Like, I remember last year not being super sold on Forbidden Door. I remember going into it and being like, "Oh, this is going to be an awesome pay-per-view," but like, because just all of these guys can perform.
Yeah.
But I don't really feel like I had that like match that I was like, "Oh yeah." Like I think the only one I might have had that with was probably the Fatal 4-Way.
Oh. I was gonna say Ospreay and OC.
I knew that was going to be good.
That's my favorite.
But I wasn't. That was easily my favorite match of the night. But going into it, I was like, "Oh, this will be good." But I didn't think it was going to be like the fucking tear the house down barn burner it was. I think the only one I was super hyped for was the Fatal 4-Way: Okada, Switchblade, Cole, and
Page.
Hangman.
Yeah.
But I feel like they've announced these 2 one-on-one matches, and I'm sold. I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I can't wait for this show."
And the rumor. And I say the rumor is that the guy who does the GTS is going to fight the other guy who does the GTS.
I did see that. That'd be very interesting.
I'm not really familiar with the other guy's body of work, but Punk I'm very familiar with.
The other guy's body of work is excellent outside of the WWE.
Outside the WWE. Was he in the WWE?
Yes, he was. He never made up to he never made it up to the main roster, I don't think, but he was on NXT for about a year and a half, maybe more.
Really?
Yeah. So it's Kenta.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what his NXT name was, but I remember it. Like I remember, I had no idea who this guy was, and they were making it like a bit like. They like showed a whole video package and stuff of like Hulk Hogan going over to Japan and like signing like and all this stuff. Like they were making it a really big deal that he was signed.
What time period was this? Like who was the top guy in WWE?
He started. Are you talking about WWE or NXT?
I guess WWE I'm more familiar with. Back then at least.
Well, technically Roman Reigns would probably be in the top spot somewhere.
Okay.
at that point, I don't think I was watching weekly except for NXT. But he started maybe 3 weeks after Balor debuted.
Okay.
I
No, I know the time period now, and you said Balor.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think. So he would have been in NXT with Balor, Samoa Joe, Baron Corbin, eventually Nakamura.
I see.
Actually, he might have even been released by the time Nakamura came around. I'm trying to remember.
That's going to be interesting. I mean, they're all going to be something I'll want to watch. I probably will watch them. But
Yeah, I just remember his NXT stuff not being super great. I shouldn't say it that way. He had good matches, but they never did anything with him beyond he just had some good matches.
some good bangers.
Yeah, at one point he was in there with Kevin Owens because I think he had gotten injured, and Kevin Owens, they did a storyline where it was maybe Kevin Owens was the one who injured him, and then till he rehabilitated, I think Owens was called up to the main roster, so I don't think it went anywhere.
Okay.
But yeah, it was I remember when he got signed to WWE, they made a huge fucking deal about it.
Because of his time in New Japan?
Yes, because of his time in New Japan. I think he was the first. Well, trying to remember if he was signed before. I think he debuted after. Maybe he debuted before. It was right around the same time Balor got signed and started.
Mm-hmm.
Hideo Itami was his NXT name.
Bro, I never heard of him. I mean, to be honest, I never really watched that time period in general. So
that time period of NXT was fucking hot. He was signed 2014 to 2017.
Yeah, I would have stopped watching around 2012, I think.
But he wasn't on TV that whole time. He signed in January. He didn't debut till September. He was announced today. Itami, meaning hero of pain.
Aha!
Fended off the. That's it. He fended off the Ascension, and then Balor was his backup. Finn Balor then debuted as his partner when he was feuding with the Ascension because they were always 2-on-1 attacking him, and then, So anyway, if he does, that would be very interesting.
I agree.
He was also the originator. Well, I don't know if he was the originator, but he was doing it before Punk.
Yeah, I think he was the originator.
GTS.
Even CM Punk gave him credit for it.
Yeah, that would be a fun match. It really would.
Doesn't Sammy Guevara? No, Sammy Guevara does it reversed.
Yeah, which he calls GTH.
Yeah.
Go to hell. So,
and then Zoe Starks does the Z360, which is she does the same thing but flips them.
Yeah,
it's weird. But anyway.
So, okay. So, what's your? Well, I guess since we brought up CM Punk, we could, I guess, go to Collision.
Oh yeah, forgot.
So they're not keeping it a secret. They announced Punk.
Yeah, and it's weird too.
So they're not doing the first thing that they did.
What really annoys
me,
which
was hints Punk's gonna be here, and then he was there.
What really annoys me about the main event match is the fact that they go it's almost oh, well, you're going to come back. What match do you want to have? And he's just I really like that guy, and put in Samoa Joe.
Well, I heard
I'll have FTR back here.
I heard he wants to feud with Joe.
Yeah, but I'm saying he supposedly he also said that he really is enjoying what Jay White is doing. And that's why he had Jay White in. Because it's weird to just have Samoa Joe and then those two together.
We'll see. I didn't look at it that way. So I looked at it as Punk wants to feud with Joe. So that's how you start your Punk Joe feud. And then Punk wants to. It makes sense for Punk to team with FTR.
Mm-hmm.
And FTR has started getting into a feud with Bullet Club. So that's how you get Bullet
that
Club
even after even on Double or Nothing, they knew they were going to do that because then that's why they had. Because when has Ricky Starks ever worked with FTR?
Yeah.
So they're just like, yeah, just throw them
yeah.
in on the group that,
Yeah, well, see, that's why I felt like it was weird that they were like, "Oh, we're gonna do another Ricky Starks, um, Switchblade match," because in my head I was like, "Oh, Ricky Starks isn't gonna come out this is them moving on from their feud," and then Ricky Starks still came out to make the save, and then they were like, "We're gonna have another match," and I was like, "Why? I'm done with this feud." Like,
Yeah,
I'm done with
it's
this feud.
expired.
It doesn't fucking excite me. I was like, I don't care about this fucking main event. Like, and then it was like, okay, well, what are they gonna do? Because it's the main event. So like in my head, I was like, there'll be something will happen. Since they chose this over anything else that was on the show, and then like the Gun Club came out, which doesn't make any sense to like help. Unless they're going to join Bullet Club, but like that also doesn't make sense. Like, why would Jay White want them in the Bullet Club?
Yeah, I feel like it'd be like a kind of like, we don't know what to do with Ricky now since we have CM Punk back, and so let's just go put him over there with the Guns.
And I think that's been a problem with Ricky is like his feuds either go too long, or they feud and then they don't, and then as soon as that feud is done, they don't know what to do with him.
Yeah,
which like makes him a very like stop and start, like athlete.
it's interesting. I the CM Punk thing, I'm less enthusiastic about, and I'm sure everyone is less enthusiastic compared to the last one. You have to be a complete idiot to, it's like, not to get political, but it's like when people like Trump, no matter what he does, you're still gonna be like he's done some awful stuff.
Yeah.
And still just blindly follow them. I don't think I would ever be that way in general with anybody, but more importantly in this scenario with CM Punk because of the fact that eventually you have to realize that he's just being kind of an asshole.
Yeah, I have that weird. I feel like this happens with, different celebrities and different things as you go, right? Like you get this weird thing where like you're excited to see them back, you enjoy their body of work, you enjoy watching them work, but like there's that weird reconciliation that has to happen with the fact that like they're maybe not the best person, and like it kind of happens all the time with music and actors and like I know that it is not anywhere near the same thing, but like the biggest example I can think of
Chris Brown
is no. Well, Michael Jackson.
Yikes.
Where it's
also,
like people
yikes.
can like you almost have to be like, it's weird. You have to either decide you're in the camp where you're like, he did these things and because of that I am disregarding his entire body of work and don't want anything to do with him or his music or any of that stuff, or you have to say I recognize that he did these things and these are bad, but I also enjoy his body of work, and those two things can be separate.
I found the perfect way to transfer from that because I was a huge Michael Jackson fan.
Mm-hmm.
I became a Prince fan.
Ah.
When he passed away, I was like, there's this guy who's making music just like this guy, and he's actually playing guitar. And so I transitioned over, and I will wholeheartedly agree now that Prince is better than Michael Jackson.
Okay, good. You heard it here first.
I mean, do I not like Michael Jackson anymore? No, I just like him a little less because I feel like Prince should deserve more credit for what he's done and what he's able to do.
Yeah, so that's where I found myself with the CM Punk thing, is I'm like, okay, he's maybe not the greatest person, but I'd still enjoy his body of work. I still want to see him on TV.
And luckily, both
I don't like he's done some bad stuff, but I would also say that what he's done is not egregious either.
Well, I was going to say, luckily, both those artists can't really compete with each other anymore because they're both dead. So
there you go.
It's like, who's better? Who cares? They're both dead.
Who cares about that?
Yeah,
CM Punk to me.
CM Punk's a little difficult.
I personally am excited for his return.
Speaking of someone who's in that Magic Collision, did you watch the clip of Twisted Metal with them fighting in the casino?
Yes.
I really don't like Will Arnett voicing
Sweet Tooth.
And not to mention they make him very silly, which I guess it's supposed to be.
So here's my thing was I was like I played the games a little bit, but I never played, like I never owned any of the games, so I never played story. I only ever played multiplayer with friends, so I was like, maybe this is how the character is in the game?
The tone is very dark in all of the games.
Okay. Like I have nothing to compare it against. So like I look at it and I'm go like, but then I'm also like, but maybe that's how it is.
So like a lot of the games,
you know?
in the first 3, a lot of the games. I remember the third one especially. They had a big, like, when you go on the character, they would do this big exposition dump of why they're in what they believe in and why they're in the tournament and what they're gonna wish for when they win. It was almost like, it's like wrestling, where it's just like they give this big. I mean, they give this like, I'm gonna do my best to win, or I'm gonna kill everybody who gets in my way. It's never like silly. I mean, the characters themselves are just parodies of people, or like a caricature of a type of person.
Okay.
You know, for example, the third one has flower power, which her ability is, she's like a hippie.
Okay.
So her whole thing would be like, if she won, she would have made Mother Earth just, bloom, and Mother Earth would be in better condition than how it was, and somehow that backfires, of course, as it always does. But Sweet Tooth was never silly. He was just a killer.
So I feel like watching it, and maybe it's because I know that the voice is not the same actor that's behind the mask, but like the scene that they showed, like I felt like I could feel that. Like I felt like there was a talk track of Will Arnett's voice, and Joe was trying to mimic what he was saying.
Yeah.
Like it felt like it was produced.
Did it seem like Samoa Joe was trying to copy Lego Batman?
I didn't quite get that vibe.
You didn't hear Lego Batman in Will Arnett's voice?
I mean, I know he's Lego
Batman, but I'm just saying.
Well, I thought you meant like in the way he like moved or whatever.
In the silliness of all of it, I'm like, yeah, this just seems like Lego Batman, or like BoJack. Well, BoJack Horseman's less silly.
Okay, I see what you're saying now.
You know what I mean? Like Lego Batman was very silly Batman version,
Yeah.
and Will Arnett played him.
I see what you're saying. But yeah, that was the biggest thing that I picked up on, was like it felt
because you
out
could
of
see
place.
Samoa Joe talking.
Yeah, it felt like the guy it felt like Joe was in the mask and not talking, and that there was a talk track of Will Arnett doing the lines playing behind him, and he's just trying to mimic those movements to make it look like he's saying those things.
Which should be biased, but I would say that even I'll go and say it, that you probably would have been better off with just having Samoa Joe do the voice lines.
Yeah, like it almost. Yeah,
he
like
can
his voice almost doesn't match with him, which is kind of what the problem is.
I guess because they're making him silly and like almost like a psychopath who's like a silly psychopath, kind of like a Harley Quinn Joker kind of type.
Yeah.
The fact that they're doing that, I guess Samoa Joe wouldn't be able to pull it off. But if you played him as the real Sweet Tooth, then yeah, he'd be able to pull it off, because he can sound sinister and crazy. And I just found it very weird. It's not a big issue, but I thought it was weird that they're going to make this like almost seem like a comedy, like a dark comedy.
That was the vibe I was getting from the clip.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll see on the 17th, I think,
of June
or 24th. I know it's coming soon.
The 17th.
I know it's coming soon.
Because when we talked about it before, I was directly right on what the date was, and you were like, "Yeah, there it is. It's June 17th." And you're gonna look it up now, and you're gonna go, "Yeah, it's June 17th."
July 27th.
July 27th. Oh, that's because it's 7. Fuck. I'm dyslexic. God damn it. All right. Let's go take me out the back. Shoot me in the back of the head.
Bang.
Oh, by the way, because I did Funko Friday for Sweet Tooth, what's-her-face liked my picture of Sweet Tooth. Stephanie Beesitz from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. She's going to be in that.
Okay.
She liked my picture, and I said, I didn't get why at first. I was like, wait, that was, like, it had the check mark, and I was like, why did she like it? Oh, she's in it. Right.
But now you don't even know if it's her.
What do you mean?
You can buy check marks.
You can buy check marks? It's her. Her pictures are her.
What? You didn't know you buy check marks now?
What do you mean?
It's like $8 a month to have the blue verified check mark.
I thought that was only for Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you not talking about Twitter?
I don't use Twitter.
Okay.
I have Twitter, but it's only to put my videos up on there.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about Twitter.
Instagram. I use the gram, baby.
The gram.
I use the gram.
I thought you were talking about Twitter. That's why I brought it up.
the gram. I have two celebrities like one of my photos, and that was the woman from Solar Opposites, Mary Mack, and then also Rosa from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Well, you're just too cool for school, aren't
It's
you?
only twice. I just said twice. I've been doing this for like 3 years
exactly
now.
too cool for school.
Speaking of celebrities, I met Carlos.
Speaking of celebrities, the biggest celebrity of all time died. The Shiki baby.
Shut up. I met a couple of I know this isn't relative to what we normally talk about, but I met Carlos Alazraqui, who is Rocco from Rocco's Modern Life. He was also, I think, Peter's boss that they had killed, the gay guy. Remember the gay guy that worked at the Pawtucket? I think it's old episodes. This is like original episodes. But anyway, I met him. Really cool. I met Pinky and the Brain, and I met the guy who took over for Aku. Not Mako, but the other guy, Greg Baldwin.
Nice.
All great people. But to bring back it, Carlos also does Bane, who is a professional wrestler. In some versions of Batman. Yeah, it's very...
I'm Bane. Yes, that's my name.
What?
You hear the name Bane, I guarantee the pain.
Okay. Where'd you take that off of? You didn't make that up.
It's some YouTube video where Bane raps.
Was it, excuse me, was it the Epic Battles of History or whatever?
Nah.
Oh.
Some like, I don't know. They did they did a bunch of Bane after the Dark Knight Rises. They did a bunch of Bane things and just like covered over his like dubbed over his voice.
Yeah, I
and
think I
stuff.
know what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
I've watched it. It gives you power over me. So coming back to it, Double or Nothing we didn't talk about at all.
No, we didn't.
Let's talk about the most awesome and best part of the night, which was the TBS champion was dethroned finally by one of the greatest female wrestlers, I would say, of all time.
Taya Valkyrie?
No, not Taya Valkyrie, but though she is getting pissed off about the whole situation.
Hey, I know that she had a championship match. So if she didn't walk out as the champion, who did?
Chris Statlander.
What?
Yeah. By the way, Taya Valkyrie's great. She's a fantastic wrestler. I was watching her Chris Van Vliet or whatever the hell his last name is.
Yeah.
That Canadian dude who interviews everybody. She was like, "Oh, we'll watch." He's like, "What do you want people to watch if they've never seen you before?" And she said, "I have the one in Tijuana against some woman." And I watched it, and it's just brutal. It's not really like a great wrestling match. It's just a brutal match.
Mm.
Like, she gets cut open, and she's, like, bleeding everywhere. Like, not, like, close to, not so much John Moxley, but somewhere in the middle between him and Wheeler Yuta in that one match. Like,
Okay.
like, just, I would say, you know what's more, it's more on brand with Bret Hart versus Stone Cold, where he's bleeding in the sharpshooter, like that much blood on her face, and she's just like constantly like, wiping it out of her face, and they're doing like crazy. She threw her through a ladder at one point, and it broke. Like, it's just a small, those like small, because I think it was a AAA, Lucha Underground, not Lucha Underground, but the AAA, and she threw the one chick through the ladder, and it's just not a very good ladder. Like, you wouldn't climb that type of ladder.
Mm-hmm.
But it definitely broke when she threw her through it. It was crazy. But yeah, it was a good match, but it was just very brutal.
Gotcha.
It wasn't like a good like wrestling match. It was just a good two women beating the shit out of each other. But Chris Statlander is the new TBS champion, is what I wanted to talk about, and
that's
I'm just happy.
And that's what makes Pookie's nipples hard.
No, don't do that. Don't do the daddy magic thing. No, that's not. It doesn't
but it
make
does.
No, it doesn't. Not at all. I got super excited, but would I say it got my nipples hard? No.
Oh, okay.
And I would never want to be on this podcast and talk about my nipples.
So after the first 2 weeks of her championship reign, I'm a little nervous.
I'm
kind of like, yeah, let's get some wins under her belt. Let's get her like moving and stuff. But like, Let's also get a storyline going. Let's get her some promo mic time. Like I'm worried we're gonna fall very quickly into like a oh, I just defend the title every week, and like maybe every once in a while you'll see a video package where I'm talking, but I'm never gonna hold a mic and actually do an interview. And
Yeah, they should do what they did with Darby Allin for the TNT title recently. Like his run, he
Yeah.
was always have someone show up after his last match and be like, "All right, well, I'm next week."
Yeah, and then they never there was no storyline. They never did. I mean, aside from like Samoa Joe coming back and rematching him,
Yeah.
like there wasn't really ever a storyline. It was just like Darby Allin's gonna fight somebody new every week, and there you go.
Yeah, and I think that the thing that's missing, the little detail that's missing is that you're saying is they're not doing that. Like, I'm literally finding out that she's wrestling that night of.
Yeah, and she has this like. She has this like amazing comeback story, right? And they did the great video package, and they showed
Fantastic.
they had it on a full version on YouTube, and they showed like a partial version on Dynamite. But like, why? Like, and I was like, okay, if you're gonna like show that and then have her like have a championship match, that's fine. But then I feel like this week she should have come out and just had like even if it's 5 minutes on the mic, just to say something or get the audience behind her.
Yeah, don't squander that.
Because they kind of have this story, and I feel like we're like very quickly just treading into she's going to fight somebody random every week. We're going to find out like a day beforehand or 2 days beforehand, and like she's never going to like really have a character or a purpose. Or
Even if you have her come out and talk about what she dealt with and talk about how she thought she would never come back, that's going to resonate with people. And then have Taya Valkyrie come out like mid conversation and be like, well, "You stole it from me, and I was almost about to win it," and blah blah blah. It's just such a weird thing where it's like, it happens with a lot of people where it's just like Tony Khan will get so focused on one thing, and then they'll do something big and be like, "Oh, this is someone deserves it," and they're like, "Yeah, we're just gonna let it fall to the wayside and not care about it anymore." I mean, it's like Jade, partially for like towards I want to say like halfway through.
Yeah.
There's like, yeah, we're not even gonna bother doing story. Like they were doing the Kiera Hogan and Red Velvet, and then they're like, yeah, just I don't know, have her fight somebody today. I don't care anymore. It was like that shit where it's just like, and I think that Chris is going to last less long because of the fact that they're not doing anything from the beginning.
Yeah.
So it's hopefully they don't waste this because she is a great wrestler and she tries her hardest to do everything she can to just make it just an enjoyable time for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like they just are squandering it already, which is kind of sad. I do like the two people she fought,
Yeah, no, and they were both good matches, and I enjoy seeing them. I just feel like they need to avoid going down that path, which it looks like they're going. But who knows, right? Maybe like it's totally possible that like this was just to keep her momentum and keep her on TV. And since we're having since we're gonna have another show, right? Like we're gonna have Collision and Dynamite, and they're gonna be kind of like presented as like a Raw and SmackDown, like they're both the quote unquote A show or whatever. Like, maybe it was just to keep her on TV, keep her momentum going, so then they could pile up to do something once there's like more TV time. And like one women's title can be on one women's title could be on the other.
You also have to realize the concept that both the two women she has fought so far could have great promos talking about why they want the TBS title. I mean, Nyla could fucking destroy her verbally and be funny with it.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about her knees, whatever, and just have her fight her. Anna Jay, we've had the whole situation with her and her fat ass. We could do something with that too.
Yeah.
Have a back and forth with the two of them. There's so much they could have done with both people. It's not like she's just wrestling nobodies, which is what Jade was doing.
Yeah. Nyla Rose is such an interesting piece of the AEW puzzle.
Yeah.
In the sense that like she was a big deal. It was a big deal when she was signed, and she was in the first championship match, and I legitimately thought she was going to win. She didn't, but like it felt like they were building her to, and I was like, okay, she lost, and then they like built her up to then be the one who beats Riho, and it seemed like, oh, like they're okay, like it's like, oh, she made a mistake, Riho beat her, and then like they're building her to be this like even more dominant monster. But they just seem to have like completely cooled on her. Like they don't know, like they have no concept of what to do with
She's like Ricky Starks.
Nyla Rose.
She's like Ricky Starks. She's so fucking funny, but they don't use her enough.
Yeah.
Just
And
like Ricky Starks.
And they put her with Vicky, and I was like, okay, they're going to do something here. And I think she was in like one championship match with
Thunder Rosa? Jade?
she was in one championship match with Sheeta.
Okay.
And that was basically the only championship match she's had until this TBS thing. Like that was, and that was during pandemic because they didn't have fans. And it just very much feels like they don't know how to use her, and they don't, and then that comes in, right? Like, is she? Did it turn out that she was a person they were trying to use, and she like wasn't ready for the TV time? Is it something that like they just don't have anything for because they're not sure where to fit her in? Is it something where there are so many people that they have so many people that like inevitably this is going to happen to a lot of people because they just legitimately don't have the TV time for all of the people that they have signed? Like, it's probably a combination of all those.
I think also what's changed is that they don't have Vicky anymore.
Yeah.
She hasn't been on TV as much since Vicky's been gone, and it's just been her and Marina Shafir.
Yeah, doing nothing.
Yeah.
Doing a bunch of nothing.
And I feel like with Vicky there, they gave them a reason to be on TV. Like, they wanted to be like, well, we're going to use Vicky.
Yeah.
So they got to use the two that are with her. And I feel like it's a shame, too, because Nyla Rose is all around great on most everything. Just like she can be funny. She can be funny and intimidating at the same time. Like I said, Ricky Starks is the perfect example of the polar opposite, or the man version of that, where it's just like could tear people apart and be funny about it, and also just have great matches.
Yeah.
It's a shame. It's a goddamn shame. One of my favorites.
Yeah, so I'm hoping stuff like that will kind of change with with what's going on. Like, I'm really hoping that, like, since we'll have Collision, that we'll do more than just the Outcasts versus Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, and then also the Outcasts just beating up on random women every week. Like,
well, they've kind of stopped that.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, let's do something else. Let's do something else.
Yeah, they stopped it, and I think that also they're kind of like the timing was wrong.
Yeah.
I don't think right now that they're in a place where they go, oh, well, we're trying to figure out how to, like, I feel like, I don't know what exactly happened, but I would say that if I were to guess what happened was, it felt like that they were going through, they had the two set up, and they're like, okay, we're going to bring Sheeta in, and then they're going to do a 3-on-3. But then Jamie Hayter gets hurt. And then they're like, okay, well, we got to get Jamie Hayter out of there. And now it's just like we're kind of waiting for her to come back so that we can do that 6-woman tag match that we're going to do.
Yeah.
So I think it's a lot of that where it's just bad timing.
Yeah, I hear you.
It's like, Wardlow left for a little bit just to get the TNT title back. It's like, why? It's like, oh, it's because we just had situations that we had to deal with.
Yeah.
So it's weird.
Yeah. I'm not a super fan of this whole Christian
Wardlow thing. But he beat up Brock Anderson.
Okay. I guess for me, I'm like, okay, can I see Wardlow versus Luchasaurus? Because like I don't care about Wardlow versus Christian. I think that's my problem with it.
Yeah.
Is like I was like, oh, this is gonna be really cool. Like Christian's gonna be like his manager, and like Luchasaurus is about to fight Wardlow, and they could do like a really cool like 3-4 month program. And then he's like, you're fighting me. And I was like, oh, well, now I don't care anymore. Like,
still a good match.
Christian, yeah, it was still a good match. And I like Christian, but I guess, like, I would rather see.
You want big, meaty men slapping meat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
You do want big, meaty men slapping meat.
I would just rather see.
Say it.
Big, meaty men slapping meat.
Exactly.
I just would rather see Luchasaurus in that spot than Christian.
I agree. But, I mean, when was the last time? Is Luchasaurus injured or something? He hasn't wrestled anybody. I mean, he's
my
squashed
assumption.
people, but.
He hasn't even done that in months. He's probably injured.
You think?
Maybe. I don't know. Luchasaurus hasn't wrestled anybody even in squash matches, since the cage match with Jungle Boy.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird to take stock of everybody and be like, well, why aren't they doing this? Or why aren't they doing that? Or why isn't this person doing this?
Yeah.
It's very friggin' weird.
Yeah.
But,
So, what the
go on.
what the fuck is happening with
The Veer.
the Veer? The fuck is happening with this Adam Cole thing?
What do you mean?
Did you see they're doing a world title eliminator match,
Uh-huh.
which means either MJF wins and Adam Cole doesn't get a title shot, or Adam Cole wins and does get a title shot. So
Uh-huh.
like, is MJF going to get beat on free TV, like in a non-championship match? What?
You gotta trust the process.
I'm very confused.
Do you remember Adam or
And then
MJF's
also, like,
list?
No,
He had a whole list of
was
like
the Veer on it?
No. It was I'll look it up, but go ahead and say your point.
So I guess I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, we're gonna give away this free match on TV. If Adam Cole wins, then we're gonna have a rematch. But I'm also like, well, like, what you call it hasn't happened yet. Forbidden Door. So like, are we saying that if Adam Cole wins, he fights him at Forbidden Door, even though that's not a cross promotional match, so that doesn't make sense for Forbidden Door? Otherwise, if Adam Cole wins, are we gonna wait till fucking September for All Out or All In at Wembley to do this championship match, or like what are we doing here? Or is he just gonna have this like championship match with Cole like in July, like on a random Dynamite? Like, I think that's why I was confused.
I understand what you're saying. He had a list of people that he would say. He says people that will never beat me for the Triple B. We have now some of these people he's already dealt with, which is why I'm finding it interesting to be like, huh, okay. We have. I'll start off from the beginning. The Pebble.
Oh, Rookie.
Mm-hmm. The American Dipshit Dragon beat
Okay.
him. He beat both of those guys.
Yep.
Wardho. This is what he said.
He hasn't
on the
beaten
list.
him yet.
He has just one that just says Edward, which I'm thinking is Eddie Kingston.
Probably.
Sensitive Cowboy.
Okay, he hasn't beaten him yet.
Jungle Jabroni.
He has.
Darbs, the school shooter.
He has.
Mr. Clean Castagnoli.
He has not beaten him.
And Adam, my brain don't work, so I can't cope Cole. So I think he's knocking off these people off the list, and I think when this list is done, maybe they'll decide on what they're going to do with him afterwards.
I guess so.
Like what they're going to have people, who's
I'm
going to take him.
I'm still sticking by my theory.
What is it? Because I think it might be the same thing.
Oh, my theory is he goes until he's champion all the way into 2024. They do a thing where, whether it's a pay-per-view or Dynamite, they do it's his last day in the company.
Mm-hmm.
And he hasn't signed a new contract. If he leaves, or if he wins, he's leaving with the belt. And it'll be a face Kenny Omega. And Kenny will beat him. And then you have your out either way. You have MJF is able to go off if he doesn't sign a new contract. He's gotten beaten. He can go to Hollywood. He could go home. He could go to WWE. Or if he does resign, then you can have the storyline be that he re-signed because he was so angry at Kenny Omega to be the one to beat him. So he re-signed so he could beat Kenny Omega and win the title back. And then obviously he doesn't in the rematch, and then he moves on to a different feud.
I think what would be a great storytelling, and I'm going to stand by this, is that the man who takes the title from him,
I think I know who you're going to say.
Darby Allin.
And he beats him with a headlock takeover.
He beats him with a headlock takeover. If it would become a full circle thing if they just have it come back around and just have him beat.
I do like that. That is my second. Or that is my other choice. Is that Darby beats him with a headlock takeover.
And then what they do is when they do that for the third time of him facing him, the first time and then Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
Don't even bring up the headlock takeover at all. and then that way people won't even think about it. And then once he does it, they're like, "Oh my god, he won!" Like that kind of thing. Like he could do the headlock takeover and then jump off and do the coffin flop, or I guess he'd have to do the coffin flop and then do the drop and then do the headlock.
Well, so here's one thing I would love to see, is that he's doing the championship match, and it's not like how MJF has done it the last 2 times with the headlock takeover, where he like hits him with the dynamite ring, or he does whatever move and then picks him up and headlock takeovers him. I like to see him like they're wrestling this match, go like half an hour, they've hit their finishers, they're kicking out of finishers, and then he just does a headlock takeover and beats him.
You think?
That'd be cool. I don't think they'll do it that way.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be cool. Because like if MJF were to re-sign, that would be like the perfect thing to be like, I re-signed so I could beat Darby Allin because he cannot beat me with a headlock takeover. This is bullshit.
Yeah,
like
I could see them doing that.
Yeah.
Because the headlock takeover would be perfect because and I could see the not the comedy, but the storytelling behind it. Like MJ would be willing to get coffin dropped and then get picked up and headlock takeover just to finish the story.
I think that's how they would do it.
Mm-hmm.
Not the way I said it. Yeah.
Well, that was just
I think that happens. I think that's going to happen. I'm just questioning. So, obviously, I think that at some point in the future, Darby Allin is going to beat MJF. When he beats MJF, it's going to be with a headlock takeover.
Mm-hmm.
I just question as to whether it's going to be during this championship reign or not.
Okay.
Because I don't know if they're going to do the reason I say that is because I don't know if during this championship reign they're going to do any repeat challengers.
Mm-hmm.
Like he beat Moxley hasn't rematched. He beat Starks hasn't rematched. He beat Danielson hasn't rematched. He won the Fatal 4-Way, hasn't rematched. Like so far hasn't rematched, and now he's going to Cole. So I'm wondering if he's just going to keep beating people, and it'll become like Kenny Omega's the only big name person he hasn't beaten yet, and so then that Omega is like the savior. But I will say I really like your idea, and I would prefer to see Darby be the one to beat him doing the headlock takeover.
I feel like with what because MJF has complete control, has a lot of control over what he's doing right now with stories. He had a lot of part to do with the 4 pillars.
Yeah. Oh, there's a reason. Like he beat like I have no doubt in my mind that it was specifically written that he's going to beat Darby with a headlock takeover.
I think MJF is the type of person who has something that, like, I can't think of anything with Kenny Omega and MJF, and I think that he's going to go more for the, like, what you have there already.
Yeah.
Like with CM Punk, he had something there already, even if it was outside of wrestling, before he even became a wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
He had something there, and that's why it was perfect. I think he's going to go for the storytelling of what, because it even like they did it with Hangman, and it wasn't. I wouldn't say it was like, I didn't really follow it too long, and it felt kind of like it elongated out. But I think if the way MJF is, he could like stretch out these things until 2024.
Yeah, I whether it's Omega or Darby or somebody, I honestly don't believe anybody's beaten. I don't think anybody's beaten MJF this year. Not for maybe in tag matches or non-title, yes, but nobody's beaten MJF for that championship this year. I really don't think so.
No.
I think the goal is to get to 2024 with a big storyline with MJF.
Yeah, and just finally have him.
Which is fine. Give me a good story. I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Like how long? Give me a good story.
Well, that's what I like about the Darby Allin theory, because it's like they have so much history together. And I remember I think that was one of my first pay-per-views was him versus Darby Allin. They were like the first card on the match. First match on the card, sorry. But that's where I was like, I remember that match, and I remember exactly how it was set up. And at the time, it was nothing, but now it's become a joke.
Yeah, I'll say that I think MJF did that to get heat in that Darby Allin match.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there was ever a plan that like he's like, oh, I did this and it's going to turn like at that moment. Yeah. I don't think it was like, oh, I'm going to do this. It's going to turn into this big thing. But I think that they found a way to make it a big thing going into Double or Nothing, and then chose to continue to make it a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Do you think we'll ever see the Elite versus CM Punk in some way, shape, or form?
Maybe.
I want to have hope.
The rumors are saying that Punk wants to because he realizes there's money to be made.
He made that money.
Yeah. The rumors are he did.
Because they couldn't run a Target.
Didn't. Punk. The rumors are that Punk wants to. The Elite has no interest in working with him, which is a shame.
I get that.
That could also change.
Because it does
could also be not true.
Listen, I do not like the Elite. I do love Punk. I could see that the whole brawl was completely CM Punk. You know, he completely motivated that whole situation. I do not think that it was the Elite coming in and going, oh, we're going to beat you up, or we're here to beat you.
Yeah.
I think they came to talk to him.
So this was that situation. This was the thing. The other day I heard on Jim Cornette. And there's a lot of times I don't agree with Jim Cornette, but there's a time I
Jim
agree
Cornette
with him.
is so.
Yeah.
He has a lot of old school opinions that are like, no, that's stupid.
Yeah,
but they don't do that anymore.
This was one of the times that like I was like, no, he's making a really good point. Is he was like coming out of that, clearly CM Punk wanted to continue to work with AEW in some capacity.
Mm-hmm.
Because regardless of whether they're also wrestlers or not, the Elite are also executive VPs of the company.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the light that they have to be seen in no matter what the situation is. And when he said, he's like, take the fact that it's pro wrestling out of it. If you were in any business, if you were in any business, in any company, doing anything else, anywhere in the world, and you were pissed off, and you said, I'm tired of this shit. If you want to fight, like you know where to find me. I'll be in my locker room. You know where to find me. That is saying you are clearly ready for a fight. And if you come in here, like, I'm going to take it as you're coming for a fight. And for them to be executive vice presidents of a company, and regardless of what their intentions were, they stormed into his locker room. Given everything he had just said, it was clear that he felt like it doesn't matter, like he clearly felt like he was being attacked.
Yeah, like here we go.
Yeah, he's like, I called them out, and now here they are coming into my locker room.
I would have definitely given them time. I would definitely given him time to
Well,
just kind of
correct. There should have been never if they had they clearly had a problem, and I agree with the fact that they wanted to squash the problem.
Yeah,
they went about it in the completely incorrect, immoral way, because what they did was they said, "Oh, okay," and they escalated it.
Yeah, and even if they meant to come in and talk to him, he was like,
they escalated it.
He was still too amped up
to
go. You know, he was the last. They were the last person he wanted to see. So
he was amped up.
Not in the right mindset.
Correct. He was amped up. They're now coming into his locker room right after he said it. Like, clearly
to talk to him, but he's going to take it the wrong way.
Correct. Clearly, they want to fight.
Yeah.
So, and then all it takes is one person to say the wrong thing or throw a punch, and then it's a fight. Now, the interesting thing is that they can't, by company standards, they're not seen, and this is why nobody has talked about it, because by company standards, they are not seen as talent. They are seen as executive board members. They're seen as employee board members of the company, which means if Punk wanted to, he could have sued and probably very easily gotten millions of dollars from AEW, and potentially could have made them like fire, like, or even if he didn't want them to, it could have been like a shareholder fire. Yeah.
Fire that HR bitch who didn't think.
Fucking idiot. God, she should. Like, I don't give a fuck. She should be fired. She's fucking terrible at her job. And also, fuck security. The fuck were security? Like, they knew CM Punk. Like, CM Punk said all that shit, and then like, what the fuck was security?
It was just Larry. Larry's security.
Just Larry. Regardless, yes, what Punk said was wrong. What the Elite did was very wrong, coming from a member of the board, member of The Office.
Well, I think
Like
I
Punk could have easily gotten millions of dollars from AEW.
So this is the thing.
And he chose not to.
I have the empathy for both groups because I could see where the Elite's coming from, and they think, oh, we can go fix this right now.
Yeah.
When it's like, no, you shouldn't go fix this right now at all. They meant well, but they did not.
Correct. It's a total situation of two wrongs don't make a right.
Yeah.
CM Punk was wrong for what he did and how he handled the situation, or how he handled that situation. The Elite were also wrong for
Someone
how they
should have
handled
been
the
there
situation.
going, hey guys, let him cool off a little bit and then talk to him about it.
Yep.
Because
let's
obviously,
have it. Yep. And also, let's have a talk on like in an office on mutual ground.
Yeah.
Because if he were to do that and then storm into their locker room, they would have thought the same thing. He's fucking here to fight.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. It's the concept of you want to from everything I've seen from Kenny Omega with other people, especially the female division, he's been nothing but willing to work with everybody.
Yeah.
It's not something where Kenny Omega just doesn't like CM Punk. It's really like, well, hold on, I didn't know you felt this way. Let's talk about this, and we can, we're all a company.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of, so I don't know. So that's why I'm saying I wouldn't be surprised, because I can't say for certain. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the things that Punk thinks were being leaked or said by the Elite were actually being said by other people.
Mm-hmm.
He has no proof of it. But again, that's why I'm excited for Punk to be back, because I have also taken the side of, or I've taken the approach of both sides were wrong.
Yeah.
So if I'm excited to see the Elite and watch them perform, then yeah, I'm excited to see Punk come back and Punk perform.
Exactly.
Anyway, went on a rant. It was one of the few things that Jim Cornette said, and I was like, oh, I never thought of that. I never thought from the perspective of Punk was amped up, so them going in there, Punk is in the mindset of a fight, which means he thinks a fight's coming.
Now stepping back from that, I could see where it's that's exactly how it seems like it.
Well, yeah, it's no different than perfect example, right? No different than if you and your girlfriend got in an argument and you stormed off. The second she comes over to open that door, you're like, here we fucking go. I'm ready to fight more, because you're still amped up.
Yeah.
Now, if she came to you 2-3 hours later when you've cooled down, then you have a conversation. But if she tries to go over 5 minutes later, you're like, oh, she's coming to fight more.
I'll hit her hard.
You'll hit her hard. Cheeky baby. You'll make her humble.
I'll beat the shit out of her. I've never beat any girlfriends.
Okay, good disclaimer.
We
don't condone such actions.
I've been struck by one before. And,
I've never been struck by a girlfriend.
I've been struck by one.
I've been struck by women, but not by girlfriends.
I've been struck by by one, and it was a very toxic situation for both. And I think we both agree that we were better off gone.
Yeah.
Do I have a little bit of festering issues with her still? Yes, but will I say that we deserve to be not together? Yes. Whose fault it is? So wrestling. We're talking about wrestling.
Yeah. I just want to know if you've ever been struck by a smooth criminal.
Smooth criminal?
Why
smooth criminal? Bring it back.
Because you kept saying I was struck by.
Oh, I was struck by. I think she threw a box at me or something.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, I forget.
You kept saying that, and then for some reason my brain went smooth criminal.
It's stupid. It's just like one of those things where people are just petty sometimes.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm old, I'm tired, and I work with fucking children. One of my favorite lines from that. And I know it's not something that people want to bring back up, but I love that.
It's my favorite line.
I'm old, I'm tired, and I work with fucking children.
And now because of that, MJF tries to do a Punk style promo like that every media scrum.
Every press conference, but that's just MJF. I think it's just him just saying whatever the fuck he feels like.
Right. Well, I think he amped it up because of the Punk one, because the Punk one happened first.
Did you see the one with where he says about Tony Khan putting on earmuffs?
Yeah.
He's talking about WWE.
WWE.
Earmuffs, Tony. And then Tony's like, what? How are you going to talk to me like that?
Yeah.
I bet that guy gives such good hugs.
I was just watching a video on TikTok, I think it was, or Instagram, and he signs his action figure and then just tosses it on the floor.
Oh, MJF. I thought you were talking about Tony Khan.
Yeah. He I think there's a Monster Mania.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
gonna be
yeah.
Monster Mania, and they did put a disclaimer on it, that said, that says like along the lines of like, please be aware, MJF will be in full character the entire time. Like he will
Oh,
like
really?
curse and
Okay.
and all that kind of stuff. I think they have to now. Like places that bring him in for signings and stuff, because everybody is out of character and stuff. I
Yeah.
think because MJF is the only guy who stays in character, they have to put a disclaimer. Especially because he like
Kayfabe, baby.
he curses,
Yeah.
he calls you names, he throws shit after he signs it sometimes. There was like another clip where like a mom was wheeling a baby on a stroller by, and the baby's like, eh, and he's like, wah. And the baby's like, eh, and he's wah. So like,
Are you
yeah,
gonna go to that?
probably not.
Okay. I might.
I
and this
want
is the
to,
thing.
but there's also part of me that's like, I don't know.
So
I don't
this
know if
is-
I can go that
so-
weekend. I
so
think
listen,
that's part of it.
This is the thing. So we were sent both the thing for it, and it was mostly for the MJF thing. But then I
Yeah.
looked into who else is going to be there. Fucking Keith David. Fucking Goliath from the Gargoyles. Fucking Keith David.
I meant to say that to you.
And there is one thing that I have not. Back before COVID,
August 4th through 6th.
Is that the Oaks one?
It's in Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
Oh, well, wait. Oh yeah, November is the Oaks one.
Yeah. I feel like I looked and I was like, oh, maybe I'll go. And I feel like it was because I wasn't sure if I could go. And then also I have to like realize that like I would be going for MJF and like maybe one other person.
I would go just on Keith David alone. Because like I
See, I
said,
like Keith David. I don't think I'd go for just him though.
COVID shut down my opportunity to meet him.
Oh, no doubt.
And I'm like, there is Goliath, there is Spawn, there is the Thing, there is fucking
They live.
Rick and Morty,
Spawn.
Princess
Princess and the Frog.
and the Frog, Dr. Facilier.
Saints Row 1, 2, and 4.
Yep, he was Julius, and then he played himself in 4.
Greenleaf.
I don't know what that is.
Amphibia.
Amphibious-
Enlisted.
Amphibia. Oh yeah, Enlisted.
Job?
He was the one guy.
Spawn.
Community.
The Puppet Masters.
The last season of Community.
Pitch Black.
Yeah.
Armageddon.
Family.
He was in Nope.
He might have been.
Who was he in Nope?
Oh wait, wasn't he was the dead guy? He was their dead father. Because I remember I saw it and it was like, oh yeah, he was their dead father because he was he had like his eye gone, right? Wasn't his eye like ripped out or something?
Oh, fuck.
You're thinking of Get Out.
Yeah. Yep. No, you're right. Yeah, he was their father.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I didn't even see
Nope.
Nope, by the way, and I knew that because I was like, I love Keith David.
It was all right.
Keith David is one of my favorite actors.
It was all right.
The Arbiter, the fucking Arbiter.
The Arbiter.
Master Chief.
Master
That's not how he
Chief.
talks, but
Nope was good. It wasn't great,
mm-hmm.
but it was good. I'd probably put it at the bottom of his 3 movies. I would do Get Out, Us, and then Nope.
It's mostly video games and cartoons.
Oh.
And Community. I liked him in Community too. He was the Chevy Chase replacement because Chevy Chase is a dickhead.
Oh, he replaced Chevy Chase. I heard they were working on a movie
Yeah, I hope so.
because 6 seasons in a movie.
Yeah.
And by God, if they're not
Hopefully he'll be
going to
in
somehow
that.
do it.
Hopefully he'll be in that. He's a pretty funny character.
Yeah.
But Keith David would be alone.
I haven't-
I don't give a fuck. At that point, I don't give a fuck about MJF. I want to go meet Keith David.
Yeah. I haven't seen anything from Community since season 4. No, I stopped. Was it
The gas leak?
4 or 5? I stopped when Troy left.
Oh, yeah.
Or I did like 2 more episodes after that, and then I was like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm good. This ain't that good.
Donald was a big part of that.
I
Everyone's still good in it, but it's just still the fact of like.
So I'm interested. I'm seeing Spider-Verse today.
Oh, okay.
I'm interested because
That's what's up. Ham and cheese.
I feel like I keep seeing. Now it's fucking impossible to not see like I haven't seen spoilers. I haven't seen spoilers, but I've seen people like talking about Donald Glover, and I was like, is he fucking in the movie?
Is he fucking in the movie?
Is he fucking in the movie?
Oh my god, they can't even do that as a kids movie.
How do you know? Maybe it's rated R.
No, it's not rated R.
Maybe it's like in the background and like kids won't notice it.
Can I say that you are? Never mind. I don't want to spoil anything.
Whatever. Yeah, don't
Yeah.
spoilers. I'm seeing it tonight.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's just something that you already knew, I think, or you assumed. So
I don't know.
I just know there will be a third one.
Oh,
I don't know if
there's
it's
a third one.
I don't know if it's for what you said it would be.
Oh, okay.
But I'm saying that there is going to be a third one. You know
well,
what I meant.
it was they changed the titles because it was a part 1, part 2, and they changed it to
Beyond or something.
Yeah, the next one's Beyond. Kind of like how they did originally. Infinity War was part 1, part 2, and then they changed it to Infinity War and Endgame. Yes, when they announced this one, they announced it was two. They announced a second and a third.
Did you think of the fact that you're seeing Spider-Verse because of the fact that you looked up Nope and the guy who plays Spider-Punk is in Nope? He's the main character in Nope.
I've actually been thinking about Spider-Verse since you walked in because you're wearing a Spider-Man shirt.
Sorry about that.
But yes, that would be the other reason.
Mm-hmm. Daniel, I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name.
Yeah.
But he was also in Black Panther.
M'Baku.
And then
I think.
No, he's not M'Baku. M'Baku was the guy in
yeah,
Us.
You're right.
I liked
right.
Us. Us was good too.
Us was good. Not as good as Get Out, but it was good.
I didn't see
Oh,
the only one I've
dude.
seen so far is Us. Like
Oh.
full from beginning to end.
Okay.
I know what happens in Get Out,
Yeah.
but I haven't seen it like
Get Out
from
was
beginning
so
to end.
good.
I feel like I'd wince a lot.
Especially considering like I went into Get Out with like I had only seen the trailers, so like I don't know what the twist was and stuff.
Did you feel
It's
white
fucking
guilt?
good. I don't think so.
Okay. It was just the fact that you didn't say yes or no. You said I don't think so.
I don't think
If
so.
I do, I don't know what it feels
I
like.
I saw it like 7 years ago. So.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
That was. See,
I usually don't feel. This is gonna be terrible.
Yeah,
saying.
don't-
Usually-
let's not-
Let's,
let's not,
let's
you're
not
fine.
go down this.
let's not. Let me see.
I recognize that I'm a good person and that. And
you didn't own slaves. That's the main part.
Correct.
Because no one does
Correct.
anymore. Thank God.
Yep.
No one owns someone else.
Well, in the
Except
legal
for Andrew
sense.
Tate.
Yeah, in the legal sense, they don't.
And hopefully he's done doing that shit.
Jesus Christ, Andrew Tate.
Anyway.
The fuck.
Anyway, so yeah, I do want to apologize now to anyone who's just listened to this because we've just been all over the place because we haven't done this in a while. So
Yeah.
we normally do that when we haven't been here for a while.
You know what I've been wanting to do for a while?
What's
I've
that?
been wanting to do a
Jello shots.
Jello shots. I've been wanting to do an AEW fantasy draft with you and
I
be
know.
like, if we had Collision and Dynamite, like since they're doing a quote unquote soft, I was like, what if we did a hard one? And I just want to see like who we would pick.
There's some matches that I've heard that I've like either they're old or they're new that I wanted to do a watch along with. Like
Yeah.
the one at was it Battlegrounds? There was an Iron Man match I think, and I wanted to watch that.
Battlegrounds.
It might have been it might be the wrong one. It was the one during WrestleMania weekend or WrestleMania weekend. Or Double
Are you
or
talking
Nothing.
about AEW or
NXT?
NXT? Oh, okay.
There was
okay.
a Iron Man I think between two people,
said-
and everyone's like, "Oh my god, that pay-per-view was amazing."
Oh.
And I thought they were joking, and it was like they're like, "No, it's probably one of the best NXT pay-per-views they've had." And I'm like, "All right, well, I guess I should find a match into that group and
Okay. I
Watch
didn't
it.
know that. You said Battleground, and for some reason I thought back to when WWE main roster had Battleground, which was like 5 years
And
ago.
I do
And I was like, I don't
Vengeance.
remember anything good happening at that show.
Vengeance, Great American Bash. What's the other one?
I think the
They
only
take like a
was-
WCWs and the old WWE ones. And
Battleground was it
I might
Battleground?
be
Battleground
wrong.
might have been the only pay-per-view, or might have been the pay-per-view where they had the only Shield triple threat match. Somehow they fucked that up, and that wasn't ever a main event of WrestleMania.
Only Shield triple threat. What do you mean?
So it was Ambrose, Reigns, and Rollins triple threat.
Oh, okay.
It was
I'm
right
thinking, like,
after-
as a 6-man tag. I'm like, why the fuck am I not paying? Because I'm
No.
thinking of them as a team, and
It
you're
was
like, I'm like, what?
it was very soon after.
You name those three people, but who are they fighting?
Yeah. I think it was very soon after Money in the Bank, because there was a year Money in the Bank that Moxley won Money in the Bank, and the main event was Rollins and Reigns. I think Reigns was champion. Rollins won the belt, and then Ambrose immediately cashed it, and then Ambrose cashed in on him. So all three members of the Shield were champion on the same day.
Yeah.
which was like super fucking cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, we'll find out more things for Forbidden Door. Sorry we didn't do anything on Double or Nothing too in detail.
Yeah. I
great
mean, I think
pay-per-view.
great pay-per-view. I think we'll have more Forbidden Door stuff over the next couple of weeks.
Double or Nothing was the one they did. They did Double or Nothing. There was a pay-per-view before that. That's the one with the Saudi Arabia one, right?
Yes.
Was it Night of Champions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the other fucking crazy shit happening.
It was Night of
Champions.
Champions, the NXT pay-per-view, and Double or Nothing all in the same weekend. And it was like they were saying out of all of those pay-per-views, the NXT one was probably one of the best ones from like start to finish.
Interesting.
Or at least the best NXT pay-per-view in a while. So I was like, maybe we'll check out one of those.
Yeah, I don't think there's really been a great NXT pay-per-view since a lot of the roster, since they like rebranded it and all that.
Yeah. Also, I was thinking about other stuff we could watch, which is like the old hardcore bouts that they've had for like the hardcore title for WWE, where they just have people beating shit out of stuff with them with random
like
stuff.
WrestleMania. Was it WrestleMania 2000 when it was like 30 guys and whoever was champion at the end of 15 minutes or something?
The Scramble, wasn't it called the Hardcore Championship Scramble?
Something like that. Yeah.
I remember the game had a Scramble. By the way, let's go out on this. Let's talk about Fight Forever because I'm super fucking excited about it.
They finally announced the date for this game that they've been telling me about for fucking like a year and a half.
And listen, it's fucking pretty awesome now because
I'm excited for it.
All the stuff they've been showing is just like, it's so ridiculous. Like, it's over the top. You can ride a skateboard if you find one under the ring.
Yeah, I like that it's
throw a propane tank.
I like that it's arcadey.
You can cut someone open.
I saw a thing where they were talking about like they tried really hard to make each character feel unique with their moveset and stuff. Like they wanted to avoid like the current wrestling game structure where it's like aside from like your finisher and your like signature moves, it's kind of like everybody's like feels like they play exactly the same. And so I had seen an interview where they were talking about like that's one of the things that they were like specifically trying to avoid with this game. And then they, of course, the next thing that they said was they were like, for example, Orange Cassidy. And they were like, there's a button combination or whatever that you can do, and then he'll do the taunt and put his hands in his pockets. And then when you do that, like not all of them, but some of like your moveset changes, because then you start doing some of the stuff he does when he has his hands in his pockets and it isn't, like that kind of stuff. So they were like, then you could like, you're in that position and you do certain things, you can like lure the person in and then like come out of it and start whipping their ass. And I was like, okay, because that was one of the things I was like, how are they going to do Orange Cassidy in a game format? Or
Danhausen.
Danhausen.
The stuff they've shown just looks fantastic. I love I like how so arcadey it is.
Yeah.
The blood, you could pull out a little bit of the bubbly. You could pull out a skateboard. You could pull out a table, light it on fire.
Mm-hmm.
You can do like so much shit with it, and it looks so good. You can have women fighting men. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I love that. I love the concept of like they just went all out with just the fun.
Yeah, one of my biggest hopes for this game is that it is fun, and then that they go down the path of, even if you have to pay for it and it's not free, if they go down the path of DLC, because I feel like that's something that like WWE could have taken more advantage of, but they are like just basically actively choosing not to.
They could honestly do a lot with that, because they're not going to make out a new game next year, so they could put so much shit out and update it constantly, and people could be playing this for like 3-4 years.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I would like to see their game go down that route, because you can even DLC like story modes and stuff like that. So then you don't have to like fucking be like, here's a new game every year, because like I hate that format.
I've been playing Siege since 2015. It's been going on. I mean, you look at Overwatch. Maybe not Overwatch is the best choice. You look at Apex.
Overwatch, they had a second game, but it still was like 6 years.
Oh, no, it's the same game.
Yes, true.
There's no co-op.
There's
no
PvE, so
it's the same fucking game. But like you look at Siege, I still play that. I still play Apex. I still play Dead by Daylight. These are games that came out like 4 or 5 years ago,
Yeah.
and I'm still playing them. They're still Nicolas Cage is coming to Dead by Daylight.
I
I
did
don't
see
know
that.
why,
I did
but
see that.
fuck it, why not?
I was thinking that. I was like, has he been in a horror movie lately? Like, why the fuck Nicolas Cage?
So, I want to be in this movie. It looks, sir, it's a game. I still want to be in
I
it.
still want to be in it. And they were like, all right, we'll sell some shit.
What's my motivation for this? You don't want to be put on a hook.
That's pretty good
Alright.
motivation.
All right, say action. They just doing the motion capture.
Yo, I
He's
feel like
trying to talk like, oh my god, where am I?
I feel like
sir,
he'd
they're
be
not going to be able to
hilarious.
hear you, sir.
I feel like he'd be hilarious
So I think
watching
it'd be
him
funny.
do mocap.
So I think it'd be funny because they've had DLC characters where it's they have Jill Valentine, they have Leon Kennedy, they have Chris Redfield, they even have Ash Williams from Evil Dead, and they have Bruce Campbell do lines like when you're in the lobby,
Mm-hmm.
he'll say stuff. He doesn't say stuff in the game because you are fighting for your, running for your life, but he says stuff in the lobby. So I wonder if they're gonna have Nicolas Cage do stuff like say stuff in the
I hope
lobby.
they do.
Because it is like because they have like the Resident Evil characters, they say stuff. It doesn't sound like what I imagine they'd sound like. They just got a random voice actor to just do lines. But it's still cool to see like, just characters from other games go into that game. There's so many. So like, we could talk about it after we're done here. We should finish this up. But
Yeah.
Fight Forever looks great.
Yeah, in terms of Fight Forever, I plan on buying it.
Hell yeah.
If it's a fun game, I will fucking pay for DLC to be able to keep playing the game and not have to fucking buy a new game.
I have to buy DLC. FTR, Keith Lee, and Danhausen are all the reasons I want to get the
Yeah.
DLCs.
Yeah, I guess I was trying to caveat that, like, if it's a fun game, I'll buy the DLC. If I play it and I'm like, this is fucking hot garbage,
Yeah.
then I won't buy the DLC.
So far, people have been quite surprised with how good it is.
yeah.
A lot of stuff I don't get, like people and roster choices, but
Yeah.
still confirmed there's no Evil Uno,
Yeah, it's a good point.
which I find is weird. Because even RJ City asked him, he said, when you're in the game, and then Evil Uno's like, yep. I was like, how do you market this game and you find out you're not even in the fucking thing? Like, I
Yeah.
don't get it. You had him fucking do this AEW game stuff, and you didn't have, like, you have Adam Cole and Orange Cassidy, and they've been talking about the game so much. Kenny Omega, of course, is in it. He's been helping them make it.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's another advantage they have, that Kenny Omega is so big into video games that he's going to be like, this is what I'd want to play. It's like with Tony
Mhm.
Khan with wrestling. I know what people want. I'm going to give you what I think people would want, and they probably will like it. So
Yeah. Who?
are you?
Oh, now I remember what I was gonna ask you earlier. Dark Order heel turn? Question mark? Incoming?
You think? Well, I mean,
I mean, it was really weird when they were.
Stu switched to a group in Ring of Honor.
Yeah, and he's been like, I hate the Dark Order.
Is that how he talks?
No,
They just giving him. I found out. You
I
remember?
can't do a Canadian
So
accent.
we were at Double or Nothing watching it, and I said we make fun of we say Jangle Boy,
Jangle Boy.
and I couldn't think of the other person. I remember now, Gargano.
That's it. You're right. It is Gargano.
Gargano. I was at work the one day. I was like, oh, it's Gargano. That's.
You're
But
right.
anyway, I don't know.
because they're
Dark Order. You think they're gonna?
Well, so the reason why I thought about it was because they were doing the promo. Well, what was it? No, last week. They were doing the promo last week where Hangman was like, "This ain't over at BBC and or BCC and not the channel,
Not the British
not the British
Broadcasting
broadcast."
Channel.
He's like, "This isn't over." Kenny Omega, he's not in the country, but it's because he's not in Canada or whatever. And then for some reason, like Johnny Hungy and the Dark Order were there, and they were like, "Oh look, it's Hangman Page with his new friends, whatever." And like they were being like really like dickish, and I was kind of like, trios match, like
sad
a
part of-
Dark Order going heel, and they're gonna be like, the fuck?
The sad part about it is that a lot of the Dark Order is like falling apart.
Yeah,
Like Vance is gone, Anna Jay is gone, Stu's gone.
it's just them
Um,
three.
Yeah, it's just the three of them, and it's just like, I know they said that they'll Dark Order will be forever, Which will be, listen, it'll be great when they have a time where they could have those other 3 come back
Yeah.
and make the full, team. But yeah, it's just kind of seems like it's falling apart.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Reynolds and John Silver are a great tag team.
Yeah.
Would I say they turn heel? The problem is that no matter what they do with them, when it comes to the BCC or the Elite, I don't think they'll stand a chance. But yeah, I mean, unless the Dark Order side with Don Callis, I don't see what they could possibly do with them.
Yeah.
I don't think they would do anything really.
Yeah, it just seemed really weird that like they did that, and I was like, are they turning heel? Like, is this going to be like a storyline, and they'll do like Kenny, and they'll do like Hangman and the Young Bucks against the Elite?
Like the most I could see them do is like, because like they were used for like Dark, and that's not around, and then like BTE vlogs. Like they continued that,
Well, they've been on
sketch you were talking about.
Yeah.
That thing where he walked away.
Mm-hmm.
They continued it on whatchamacallit, and they're trying to like make it seem like there's, because it's like they're trying to make BTE like make it seem like people should watch it so they could be included into what's going on. But I'm like, I'm not gonna.
That's
I
something
that's funny sketches.
Yeah, that's not something that's ever gonna, like, the mainstream audience or whatever is never gonna watch that. So you're always gonna have to like tell them what's happening on Dynamite. Like, I feel like that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to be like, here's some background, so then we don't have to waste time doing promos and showing you stuff on Dynamite. And I'm like, that doesn't work.
I don't want Being the Elite to turn into a comic book where they go, if you want to know what happens here, go to this issue of this thing. So
that's what it feels like sometimes.
Yeah.
Not all the time, but there definitely have been storylines where I feel like that's what they were trying to go with it.
So yeah, we'll have probably not next week, but a week after, 2 weeks from now, we'll have another episode go on. We're glad. This feels good.
Feels good.
I enjoyed just talking to you about whatever. I mean, essentially, we just talked about whatever.
Yeah, Backstreet's back.
All right. Oh shit! Did I just do that thing?
What thing?
The Backstreet back. All right.
Yeah. All right. Oh my God, we're back.
You should do your
again.
catchphrase while I sing it. Dun 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 dun.
Do the needful.
And then we'll cut it there.
Okay.
Oh, we didn't say bye. I guess we should have said bye. That one is. What's going on with WWE?
So it's the funny thing. I brought up the draft because this morning I was watching this video that was like 10 reasons why WWE has already shot themselves in the foot with this pointless draft, and I was like, holy shit, these are all like crazy, right?
Good segue into WWE.
Yeah. So the first one was the thing that I had brought up, which makes no fucking sense. Roman Reigns is the champion.